your spirit rise, journey hand in hand.
say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imeru amen. Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imeru amen, ve'imeru amen.
There comes a time in every fight when it's been going on so long that the reasons it all began are far away and ancient news. When the only answer left is, that's the way it's always been. The way it's always been is broken. It's time to open up our view.
Let me hear my voice like I've never heard before. Let me see through eyes like I've just been born. Open up my heart, open up my soul to listen, to care, find goodness everywhere. Open up my heart, open up my soul to listen, to care, find goodness
There comes a time in every age when there's no choice but to change, when we evolve and learn and grow and clearly see what has to be. And right now the only answer is we are all made in God's image, worthy of human dignity. We're only free when we're all free.
Let me hear my voice like I've never heard before. Let me see through eyes like I've just been born. Open up my heart, open up my soul to listen, to care, find goodness everywhere. Open up my heart, open up my soul to listen, to care, find goodness
Set my heart free, set my mind free, set my soul free, set me free. Set my heart free, set my mind free, set my soul free, set me free. Set my heart free, set my mind free, set my soul free, set me free. Set my heart free. Set my mind free, set my soul free, set me free. Set my heart free.
We are only free when we are all free to be. We are only free when we are all free to be. We are only free when we are all free to be. We are only free when we are all free to be. We are only free when we are all free to be. We are only free when we are all free to be. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Temple Emmanuel, Beverly Hills, on this beautiful, beautiful Shabbat evening. And we're a year into our pandemic, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about what's going on at the synagogue. We're celebrating this weekend a new month, and we need to get started with some spiritual movement. Maybe that's the best way to put it. And we thought we could start with our nigun, so that we're not thinking right now about the week that was. We're not thinking about the stuff we have to do. Just allowing our voices to carry us into Shabbat. So let's sing together our feather nigun. again. Whichever part you'd like, you may take. I think one of the ways we can judge how much a melody sinks in is if a dog starts barking, then we know that it's sinking in. So we've started just by warming up our bodies and our voices. And now it's time to go to Robert Byrd and Gail Goldstein, who are going to light the Shabbat candles with us this evening.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us into your homes. Shabbat Shalom from the Byrd and Goldstein family, Rob and Gail.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat, a temple manual, is like a symphony of meaningful spirituality and a concert of beautiful music.
So welcome one and all to an evening of Shabbat, and thank you to our most amazing clergy. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Robert and Gail, for bringing us into your home. Now we welcome the angels into our homes. May all houses of Israel be like this one, with the candles lit in the light of Shabbat in our room.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, V'melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei
We are now at that moment when we move from the week into Shabbat. It takes a little while to kind of move our hearts and our souls into this holy time. And what we need to do is look through our week. We need to look at the light and the darkness. We need to look at our fears and our joys. We need to look at our triumphs and our defeats. And to bring ourselves into Shabbat by holding on to those moments that have given us uplift this week and leaving aside, at least for the moment or for Shabbat, leaving aside those things that have caused us anxiety or pain. Not that we're forgetting about them, but we're rejuvenating ourselves so that we can go into the new week with light in our hearts. So let us now take time for a Chazarat HaShavua, a review of your week. We're still welcoming Shabbat. Let us go out into northern Israel in the town of Sfat, in the hills, the Carmel Mountains, and let's sing a song they used to sing in Sfat, wearing white. I guess I'm wearing a little bit of white tonight. Let's join together. Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabla, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabla, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabla, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat,
Let us rise together for the Baruch Hu and our call to worship.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach, Le'olam Va'ed.
Just as we begin the central portion of our prayers, we begin with a prayer of love. It really is only the power of love that will bring all of us together. It's the power of love that allows the relationship between us and God to happen. But most of all, it's the power of love that allows for connections. So we search for those connections through our love. Turn now to the Shema. We take that love and we spread that love from person to person to object, all around the universe. That love spreads through the fabric of everything. And so we take these 6 words and we tie ourselves to everything. Shema Lie, die, die, die.
It opens the world to so many possibilities.
Is that it?
Nope. We should test our audience.
Lie, die, die, die.
Which one do you think it is?
מי כמוך מעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש נורא תהילות, עושי פלא, עושי פלא. ידה לה לה לה, ידה לה לה לה, ידה לה 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 We've reached the standing prayer, the Amidah. If you'd like to stand at this time, or you're able to, hopefully, please do so. And we'll sing this first line together, and then go silently for the Amidah. We will finish our personal private prayers with personal public prayers, thinking about those people that we love and care about who are in need of healing. We'll sing the first part, and then we'll read some names of people that we know are dealing with illness and taking care of people that are ill. Our hearts go to all of you. And as a community, we come together on these Fridays and Saturdays so that we can help each other get through this time. So this is an important section of the service for us to really concentrate our energies on all of the people we love and that we care about. Mi
Bernard Birnbaum, Pearl Councilbaum, Bruce Corwin, Esther Marie Frank, Ann Goldman, Norma Glickman, Andy Hale, Melody Marabi, Warren Roston, Ruth Schwartz, Rhoda Sharp, Michelle Sipe, Shelley and Ron Singer.
Those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Shabbat Shalom. So I'm just going to get right into it. I acknowledge that it's hard to keep everyone tapped into the state of the congregation during a pandemic, and conversations of what's happening in the synagogue at Oneg Shabbat after the service just don't happen anymore. We don't have those moments where we're running into each other before the service or after a service or just during the week when people are coming by the synagogue and we can chat or we can keep abreast as to what's happening. So I want to take a moment on this Friday evening to talk about the state of the congregation and share with you something that I think is and we as a staff and as a board of directors of the temple think is very important. And it's about the direction that we're taking in the synagogue. The board of directors, along with an enthusiastic clergy, and in turn all of you, have invested in Temple Emmanuel of Beverly Hills' future. After months of searching, a search process, our board engaged a company named Gemic. And you may have already gotten emails from Gemic and been like, who is this company and what are they doing? This is a company that, quote, helps forward-thinking businesses solve complex challenges. And then when you go on their website, the phrase, shape the future with clarity and vision. If there was ever a time when a synagogue needed to find clarity and vision for the future, it is now. And that synagogue is us. Why are we engaging Gemic at this time? Why do we need this vision for the future now? We just sold a building. We have some money in the bank in endowments. Do we really need to do this? Those are some of the questions that we've been getting, and I'm going to say it simply. Our projections over the next 5 years and beyond, which I believe are rather conservative, without change and vision, is not a positive, sustainable model. The board of directors has been very clear about protecting the endowments, especially the money from the sale of the Burton Way building, and we have worked hard to make it difficult for any board, now and in the future, to use the core of that money. So we must work together to find a self-sustainable model for the future now, because we are in a strong position based upon the sale of the building. The sale of the building allowed us to pay off debts. It took away close to $500,000 of expenses, and it turned into an asset and a resource that we will be able to use to respond to the ever-changing future. So, Gemic, there's two things that I really love about this company. I like that they approach their business through data, and the lenses they use are anthropological, entrepreneurial, political, business. They have a lot of different lenses that they look through when they see the data that they get from us and others around Los Angeles and the Jewish world and the entire world. And secondly, although the team we work with, all three of the people on the team are Jewish, I like that they don't come from inside the kind of Jewish strategic world. Because I feel like we need a company that isn't doing what we have been doing and the way we've been thinking about it to solve our complex challenges. This is a company that works with forward-thinking businesses. I believe Temple Emmanuel of Beverly Hills has always been a very forward-thinking synagogue. We were the first Reform synagogue in Los Angeles to start a day school. We had an Orthodox rabbi who was also a conservative cantor as our cantor for 20 years. We are the first synagogue in a major city to hire a woman as the senior rabbi of the congregation. And in all the time that I've been associated with Emmanuel, we've always been future thinking about Jewish prayer, education, and our programming. It may come as, I think it'll come as an understatement to say that American Judaism as a whole and the Reform movement and our synagogue specifically have complex challenges to solve now and in the future. You just merely need to look at the data from the many surveys that have been done in the Jewish community over the last 20 years about Jewish life in America to understand that what worked before, when synagogue membership in this country was thriving, it no longer works. Layer on top of that the pandemic that has only sped up the transformation from how we used to do things and how we need to do things so that our synagogue can move forward. We need to examine everything. From our financial models to our prayer styles, from our early childhood center to our religious school, our programming and welcoming, how we take care of each other, and how we can provide spiritual uplift to our congregation. No subject, and I mean this, no subject is off limits except maybe Amos. And no answers have been predetermined. We don't know what the study will tell us. Nothing's been predetermined. And we don't just welcome your participation and input. We need it. We desire it. We're asking you now, please, do this with us. Fill out the forms. Come to meetings. Be a participant in this process as we move forward. And if you have questions, that's a good thing. We want people to have questions, and we have a time. This is an open book. Fridays between 9 and 10. Every Friday between 9 and 10, pop onto the Zoom call and ask the GEMIC folks your questions. If you prefer to talk to me, I'm here. But please, include your voice in the survey that we sent out. Above all, look for the emails with a link to both the Friday meetings in the morning and the questionnaire. And I will tell you, if you come to me and you need to talk to me about it, I'm going to just take notes and I'm going to pass it on to the GEMIC people. I'm not the professional expert in this field. That's why we're bringing on this incredible company. So if you're wary of such a project, if you question whether this is a good investment of our funds, know this. The process will not change the heart and soul of Temple Emmanuel, but it will help what is most true and beautiful about our essence to shine through. As senior rabbi, I want to oversee a community that figures out how to use our finances and especially our endowments to thrive and not just survive. And right now, we're in a place of using the interest of those funds to survive. Are we on the verge of closing our doors and dying? Not at all, so far from it. We are thoughtfully engaging with financial projections about the future so that in the future we don't have to deal with those horrible questions. I realize that words like survive and sustain, they're scary to hear. And frankly, in saying them, I'm a little scared myself. Vayakel Moshe, it says at the beginning of our Torah portion. Vayakel, gather everyone together. Moses gathered the community together as a kahal, as a community, to make the holy tabernacle that will hold their most precious values. And it was done so with a willing heart, with a volunteering heart, a nadiv lev. And it took the entire community to participate in making the tabernacle. Each person doing their part with their skill and their knowledge. We need your voice. We need your skill. We need your knowledge. And the Israelites were just like us. They didn't know what was ahead of them, but they knew that they were on their way towards a promised land. And they were scared too. But at the same time, at this time, it is certainly a call for courage. When we finish reading the book of Exodus, which is where we are right now, we say at the end of finishing a book, we say, Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. Be strong. Be strong. And Nit Chazek is to strengthen yourself. That's where we are in the Torah, and that's where we are in our synagogue as well. Rabbi Mark Margolius from the Institute for Jewish Spirituality wrote this teaching in My Jewish Learning, and you can find the entire teaching online. He writes this to those of us who are in need of strength. One of my favorite Hasidic masters is Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav, and he's known for a very famous teaching. Kol ha'olam kulo, gesher tzar me'od. The whole world in its entirety is a very narrow bridge. Va'ikar lo lefached klal. And the main thing is, do not fear at all. But interestingly, that's a famous song, right? There's a couple melodies of it. We're going to sing it at the end of my talk tonight. But in the actual recorded teaching from Nachman of Bratslav, it's far subtler and closer to our experience. Because rather than use the word lifached, which means to be afraid, he uses the reflexive form of the verb. This is the kind of thing that gets rabbis really excited. You know, is it the reflexive form? Is it this form, that form? You know, it's the reflexive form, which means to cause oneself to be afraid. It's different than just being afraid. For Nachman, courage isn't about denying or repressing fear. Rather, it's that fundamental principle of courage, which is choosing to not frighten ourselves beyond the fear we already experience. Challenges bring out fear. I'm afraid. Oh my God, I'm afraid. Oh, I'm even more afraid. Oh, I'm even more afraid. To hitpached is to scare yourself over and over and over from the inside out. So the first thing that happens is we become scared from the outside, and then it churns inside of us and we become even more fearful and we cannot do anything. Fear is unavoidable. Perhaps it's required. Courage involves moving forward despite our fear and not exacerbating our anxieties. That's what the quote from Nachman of Bratslav is telling us. It's okay to be afraid. Don't churn that fear inside of you so that it becomes bigger than it has to be. In fact, simply observing the fact that we're afraid without judging ourselves for that emotion, which I know can be difficult, offers the possibility of acting in a way that is not determined by that fear at all, but is from a position of strength, doing what is right, even in the face of challenging emotions. That's where we are now. We're in that exact spot. Our emotions are being challenged. But we need to come at it from a position of power and of strength. And I believe that's what we're doing. We have a wonderful, beautiful challenge ahead of us. Let us work towards our futures together, even with all the uncertainties, even with all of the challenges. And we can hold on to the fears we have and acknowledge we have them, so that our children and our grandchildren and great-grandchildren come to Temple Emmanuel, and they don't have to. Shabbat Shalom. So let's turn to Gesher Tzar Me'od. Kol ha'olam kulo. Gesher tzar me'od va'ikar lo lefached klal. We're not going to change the song to lehitpached, but you all heard the teaching.
Kol
We move now to Aleinu, our closing prayers. If you'd like to rise, you're able to rise. Please do so at this time.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובר מרומים, הוא אלוהינו עליון, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו You may be seated for the moment. We turn now to Kaddish Yatom, and we think about all of those in our congregational family who have died in the last month, whose families are observing Shloshim. Gloria Kaplan and Rigo Romero and Soraya Malamed. We also recall all of those that are going to go up on the screen momentarily. There they are. Those are the names of those members of our community whose yahrzeits occur on this Shabbat. And we take all of those names and we welcome them into our hearts as we join together to say Kaddish Yatom. And we say it for all of those names on the screen. We say it for those names that are in the hearts of you who are watching. And we say Kaddish Yatom for those who have no one to say it for them, all those lost in the Holocaust, those that have died from COVID-19, and all those that have been lost from the violence of recent times. So let us continue with Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, B'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, B'agala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'l'olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kodesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol berachata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'miran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Amen. May the one who causes peace on high cause peace to reign on all of us. And we say, Amen. Amen. I've been talking enough. Do you have any announcements? Join us tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for Shabbat morning at Emmanuel. And we have a special speaker doing the teaching. Check your highlights. I don't know that I have the ad right now, but check your email from yesterday. What else can we say? Passover's almost here, if you can believe it or not. And if you check our Facebook or, again, highlights, you will see there is something for everyone. We have a
debut. You might recall last year we had our very virtual Brady Seder. This year our theme is around being a survivor and reflecting and redeeming on this past year. So that video will be debuted the first night. We'll have a Zoom congregational Seder the second night. We have a Bim Bom Passover. We have a Chai Village Passover.
Yep, there's a lot happening.
Lots going on. And I'm doing a little concert to help open our hearts to the music of Passover on the Tuesday before Passover. So you saw an ad for that.
And the only other thing I would add is next Friday night,
Yes.
we're having a special Friday night service because it really marks about the year. You know, a lot of what we're doing marks this pandemic over the year. We're going to have a healing service for all of us, because we all need to heal a little bit from this past year, a lot of bit from this past year. So we're going to have a special healing service, and in the middle of it, there are blessings for those who are taking care of people. There's those that know people who are ill and they just want to kind of get that energy out. And for all those that are ill, we'll have a special blessing for them as well. So please join us for that next week, 6:15. It's instead of our regular Friday night, it's a special Friday night healing service. Okay.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think we want to thank Alana Arian for writing this.
Are we going to end with this song again?
We
Nice.
are. Because I think people might
They might
have
have
picked
learned
it up a little
Yeah.
bit. So I want everyone to sing with us now. And then fill out your surveys. I'll take this opportunity to thank Daniel Tater. I also want to thank the almost 50 people who attended our service feedback meeting this past weekend, and just say that we are really taking in everything that was said, and we are so happy you joined us. And Robert and Melvin.
We will start to incorporate some of the ideas that were put forth in that meeting, but it was wonderful to have people with us and people who care, and really appreciate your voices.
Sing with us. I want to hear it throughout the whole city. Here we go. Kol haolam kulo.
Kol haolam kulo.
Kol haolam kulo. Gesher tzar. Gesher tzar me'od. Kol haolam kulo. Let me hear you. Kol haolam kulo. Gesher tzar. Gesher tzar me'od. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. כל העולם כולו, כל העולם כולו, גשר צר, גשר צר מאוד.
והעיקר.
והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר,
לא לפחד כלל. May you feel blessed and safe. May you feel luminous and loved. May you feel joy and wholeness.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.